All right, we're working on the Acadia this weekend. Had a problem where the positive here, there's actually three cables stacked on top of each other here. The top one's coming from the battery that's inside the car, and then underneath here, there's there's probably one other cable underneath there that goes to the alternator and the starter. In my case, this one that's underneath here that was going to the starter, it had shorted to the metal frame of the heat shield, and once you short your battery to chassis ground, the battery pretty much goes down to 0 volts and everything goes haywire on the car. What I had to do is I unscrewed this bolt and took the cable off the bottom and disconnected, left that disconnected to see if my 12 volts would remain strong when I tried to see if the dashboard would light up or the flashers, things of that nature. So it did work fine, once I removed the starter off of this positive 12 volt feed. So that told me that either the alternator was shorted or the starter was shorted. I thought the starter went bad, but it turns out that the heat shield was touching the shrink wrap, and it must have melted through the heat shrink to hit the 12 volts on the ground. So anyway, that's one thing that we ran into. And down here, right over down there, there's a bolt for the alternator. So I took that one off to see if the alternator would remove the short, but it didn't. These two cables here have both the alternator and the starter put inside of them, so you can't separate the two to understand where the short's coming from. So in my case, I disconnected the alternator and got it to confirm that the starter was the problem. Another thing that wasn't too nice in this whole project, GMC puts this nice little ground lug that you can put your jumper cables on, and it's actually right there, and that's very convenient. The only thing that I found out is that when you take this off and you look behind there, they had all those threads painted with white paint, and it was an intermittent ground, which can really throw you for a loop. So I took my little grinder and removed all the paint, so that is now going to be a nice place to get a ground on the car. But that's something that every car is probably painted that way, and it can mess you up big time. Also on this issue, when you have a direct short on your 12 volts, you cannot shift the car and you cannot take the keys out of the car. So let's go over what you need to do in that situation. Okay, so to shift the car, this is the shifting cable down here, and back over here you can see there's a bolt there, and then on the other side over here, back over on that side, there's a bolt. If you remove those two bolts, you can take the shift cable and move it once towards the driver for reverse, and one more time it will get you into neutral. So that's what I had to do to push this car out of the blocking the passageway. So that's what we did to get the car to shift, and then let's see how we fix the key, getting the key out of the car. So in order to get a stuck key out of the car, what you do is just pop this off real quick. There's really not much holding it on there, so that comes off ultra easy. And then down here, I don't know if I can get a good picture. But if you put your finger down there, there's a solenoid down there. I'm not sure if you can see it too well, but let's see. I think it's right. Yeah, it's right there. You can see the solenoid. What you do is just move that plunger around, in and out. It will go in a particular direction where then you can shift the keys to get the key out of the column. That way you can leave your car stranded and lock it up so nobody can get in. So those are the couple tips. Those are the tips to consider when you've got a shorted power supply. Also, let's see here. Also, I believe that starter had acted up with shorting momentarily, probably for a millisecond or two in the past, because I've had this car shut down for a blip of time period, and then the dashboards would go blank and then go dark, and then they would turn back on. So I'm pretty sure that that's probably what was going on, is that that little starter wire was starting to deteriorate on the shrink wrap. And so what I had to do is go under the car and inspect that, and that's when I noticed it looked problematic. So I put a little more air gap between the shield and the cable now, so I don't think that should act up any longer. Anyway, hopefully this video will be helpful for others. Please like, share, and subscribe.